Good morning and welcome to today's live show. If you're not with us live right now, we have daily expected move for 615 to the upside for the SPY and 608.74 to the downside. If you weren't here for our discussion of what was going to overall take place, or what I think is going to take place, is we are going to continue to potentially even see 30-minute go down and up or continue to the upside, but eventually we are going to get that 2-hour pullback that pulls us down to test that 5, and then we're going to be able to curl up potentially into July 9th if we really want to take our time with it to get there. I think July 9th will be an area we will really pay attention to, but as of right now, the bulls are bulling, and we have not confirmed the signal that says, hey, it is very likely for the 2-hour to cross down. You did get a confirmation on the MACD, but is that a good confirmation, right? You need a solid negative bar below the 9, crossing down on the MACD and RSI if you want all the reasons for this to pull back on the 2-hour chart. You do have a good percentage chance to go to or close below 607.70 by the end of the day. 68% chance. But as you do gap above and break through those levels, you can use these levels as support. So for today, I am inclined to pay attention to if the 30-minute is able to buy even more time by staying up into these positive trends. Now, for the market for this time, we did notify you that volatility, if we are going to see some kind of spike in volatility as the Qs are outside of their monthly expected move, we do see that we're outside of the monthly move. We have 549.89 to the upside. We have 542.55 to the downside. Now, these are two things we need to be paying attention to in here is, do we set some kind of trap up here? Is it risky over the weekend to hold stocks above the monthly expected move? Normally, I would say yes, it actually would be, and volatility is shaping up a lot of 30-minute divergence today, saying it wants that 2-hour reaction that we are talking about, but it hasn't gotten a good confirmation, so you have a bunch of reversal signals now that are actually pretty significant for volatility, suggesting that the SPY is going to get a 2-hour pullback, and you might want to be cautious because a lot of things can happen on options expiration. But after options expiration, we go into a weekend. Now, if you are going to see extreme volatility that dumps you below this low, you don't really have the signals for that right now. So in order for that to form, we would have to see like 2-hour lower highs. We would have to see 2-hour divergence. Those would be great hints. So what we're really paying attention to is we don't have those signals. So maybe there is going to be a drop, but will it be as bad as you think? Right? That's the overall statement there, because you don't have a lot of things suggesting, oh, all of a sudden we're going to get volatility. Normally, I showed you guys volatility on the 2-hour chart, and before we get these big spikes, 2-hour divergence, 2-hour divergence, no 2-hour divergence, and a 2-hour higher low over here, no 2-hour higher low, no 2-hour divergence right now. So look how we react up to the 5, then we curl back down. We react up to the 5, then we curl back down and make all those divergences. We react up to the 5, and then we curl back down. And maybe we can see that upside for an extended period of time where we can create those divergences down here. I think it's very, very good for people to hear that. So if we did see some kind of actual, say, crash-like moment, a big rug pull-like moment where the SPY is breaking down and giving us the daily pullback and saying, hey, I am going down to 580 all of a sudden, that would be some new information most likely, or a reaction that wasn't necessarily expected by the market. So that would be an update with some kind of news. If you wanted my inclination of something that could happen, I thought it would be like Israel, Iran, something like that could happen that they could use as an excuse. But now that we have shown how strong we are here, I think that this can leak out until at least July 9th. But anywhere in between there, I'm going to be paying attention for any kind of what you would say potential for a black swan moment. So from right now to July 9th or the Friday after July 9th, I think those are some risky, risky times. There is one scenario where we do go up all of July, but that one we will have to see play out day by day because it doesn't look like you can lean towards it at this point. 697 days downside every day. We are getting too close at all-time highs. I think that for the market, if you wanted those all-time highs, they probably wouldn't want to. And are we at those, by the way? Yeah, we're like at it now, aren't we? Yeah, we're at it now. Something about all-time highs is I think they would like to close on that euphoria. So either random piece of news sends you down, or I just think you kind of doodle around and you leak this. And I think by the end of the day, you get to potentially daily expected move. Which if by the end of the day you get to daily expected move, right? Say you're up in these type of areas, and then you get that 2-hour pullback, and then you head to the upside. Look how we can get to 218, right? 2-hour pulls back, 2-hour to the upside. We're at that 618. We start to roll going into potentially the 9th. And we can extend this move for even longer than that if we really want to. So yeah, I think that we'll potentially see upside into the close. Like you might get, oh, everyone's buying calls. Then you kind of drift down or go sideways throughout the day in the like from the morning. And then you see that just slowly curl up at the end of the day and get to that daily expected move. Kind of like the slow grind higher. Kind of. Oh, did you change your name, Open Group? That was so confusing for a second. I was so confused. Why everyone's names are different today on my chat. This is hard. Bernie, your name's different too. That I didn't take those Palantir puts. Yeah, it's a good thing because I don't even believe like Palantir for this. This only has the 30-minute confirmation, so you're immediately like this. If the 15-minute crosses up, where is it positive territory? You manage the trade. This shouldn't be some big loss though. If you're playing some kind of daily 2-hour and 30-minute setup all at the same time, this shouldn't be some kind of like, if you were betting on this for like, hey, oh, Friday, we're going to see a mega drop. Come on. Come on. This is why we talk about extending out those options, because you never know if the market wants to do this. Now, this doesn't mean it's back to bullish, but you want to be paying attention to if it does say, I want to continue, right? It hasn't said that yet. We have to see how the morning opens up. No, that's just management of trade. And if it's on the 15-minute, you're happy with it because like the 15-minute on a month out trade for like a daily divergence and a golden setup, say like a month out, even if the stock goes up by like 2% in one day, you still don't lose like 80%, 50%, 30% of the position. Like lose like 10%, 15. That's why the management for the trade is very good. And then you just look for the timing. You might just be off with the timing. Would love to take a short even if it's 2 months out. Yeah, the only scary thing about like this move is if I'm doing it like a regular position, because if this for whatever reason would just boom, right? Say like, or like say get to a monthly, like do this and then just pull down into here and then be able to go up again and go to like these type of levels. This is kind of how you would head up in July. You go down for a moment, then you start to head up, you go up into August, you just kind of see this. Start to see like volatility, and then we save ourselves, and then you just kind of drift to the right. I don't like that though. I really don't. I don't like that standpoint. That leads to bad things potentially in September, which I just don't think is on the table. I think that daily pullback is much more likely. It's kind of like these moments down here, right? Like we're notifying people about things like here, right? And then we're talking about the 2-hour higher low that can come here. So now we're talking about this now. But notice it took all of this time for that to actually show it wanted to bottom. So now we have to give this enough time to show us it wants to top. And I think now you're pointing to those things. You're looking at the daily. You're going, hey, what if this just peeks its head above and crosses down? You're looking for weakness right here, to be 100% with you. If you squeeze through, then it will continue, right? This is why we're paying attention. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to put it, but if at any time you think that stocks are going to fall and you see divergences that are just completely violated, you always want to act like that can continue for at least one more move. And then guess what? If that one more move takes you above and you don't see that divergence and you just go straight up, you always want to act like that move can continue. The market overall is normally, like most of the time, it's bullish, right? If you were holding negative trades for the last 10 years, did you make or lose money? You lost money dramatically. So you want to act like it can continue. This is why I'm suggesting this can continue into July 9th. If we do some price action that gets rid of divergence again by July 9th, I'll be saying this is suggesting we can go up into OpEx, right? That's how long it can take for these things to shape up. Like where's a low? Where's a freaking low? That's a good one, but yeah, like over here. Because if you end up doing something like this, and then you raise that floor, and you break out again, hey, look how you never go back, right? So these are the type of things that you got to be watching for, because if the market just keeps going bullish, then it starts to say, oh, a daily pullback down to here is probably not on the table. I'm going to leave it there for now, but if we would extend, raise the floor, extend, it just keeps going. So if we don't see a bearish break, a bearish break, a bearish break, then it's not at all bearish. But for now, we pay attention to what we're inclined to believe could happen into the future, trying to keep our brain nice and functioning, saying, hey, how would this reverse around? Well, we would get a 2-hour pullback early next week, and then we would see some upside. And then we would go into, say, something like July 9th or the Friday of that week, and then we could close back down. But if they wanted to leak it out into options expiration, you can start to see that slow grind into OpEx, right? We can see slow grind into OpEx. And it doesn't have to look like this, because we'll get new updated monthly expected moves, right? So I'm talking a lot about different scenarios and stuff. What's the most likely scenario right now? The most likely scenario is you're going to get a 2-hour pullback, that 2 hours to the upside, then you're going to break down on July 9th. That is the most likely scenario at this point, by the way. Okay? Hey, if that's Jonna, I'm sorry if I can't shout out your guys' names. All the names are your actual, like, names for, like, your emails, pretty much, for YouTube, almost. It's not your actual email, by the way, just so you're not worried, but for me, that's what I see. Do you guys see that? Are all the names different today? Like, heel toe is the same right now, but it still has the app before it, and it's all squished together, so sorry if I can't shout it out. The handle for channels. Isn't that weird? That doesn't make sense. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's making me, like, not fully know. I have to go by your pictures. Do you guys know how hard this is? But yes, we can go look at something like Amazon. Amazon with the nice breakout. This is pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Now, for Amazon, if it's not going to do the thing that it wants to do to go higher, and maybe this was already done, maybe this was that liquidity grab to shoot it higher, you would still say the floor is being risen here, right? The 2-hour is still going like this, and so therefore it's going to probably tap into here. What you're kind of looking for at this moment is just the reversal signals. As you wipe out the old ones, wipe them out, you're going to be wiping them out this morning, unless you just fade right away. You still want to be aware of this, right? That can happen. But for this, if you're just going to say keep going, you're just raising the floor and you're looking for those reversal signals somewhere else. Now, for Amazon on the monthly charts, this is why you're kind of like, okay, how high up could Amazon go? You're still looking at 221. So this is getting to a monthly expected move today. Today, this will most likely get to the monthly expected move. It is $1, less than $1 off. But you've wiped out a lot of those divergences. So you're kind of looking for a daily divergence, which means what? If you raise the floor here, you might have bought yourself some time. So we might reject off of that monthly expected move, pull back down into this area. Then we start to curl back up, right? And it could be like shorter, it could be longer. We'll have to find out. But something like this into this, right? That would be bad. Or something like this, into here. And then we start to drop down. Now, we'll pay attention to weekly expected moves next week and the week after that very thoroughly. But this looks like Amazon is seeing good things. If it wants to keep squeezing higher, The place it actually runs into problem raises up a little bit. We've already hit our 220. It gets to about here, 228, 229 pretty much. Actually, I'm going to put it on 229 just so we have a whole number to talk about. This is the next level it really wants to get to. Because as you wipe this stuff out, you can pull this over, right? We can say, what were we trying to take out over here? We were trying to take out this guy, right? We were trying to take out this guy over here. This little chunk. There's just a little chunk. And if we break through that, it's a good thing. And look at that. You break through it. It's a good thing. This means if Amazon wanted to do the crazy July, like keep going up in July thing, it could break through instead, curl back down, and be perfectly fine. But now you have an area to kind of watch of like, oh, okay, where's that stair stepper moment going to happen? Boom, boom, boom. Then we start to go up again, I think. But I think Amazon will get to like 221. From there, 221 forward, it is risky. So this right now, like right now, you're close enough to it. Right now, you're at the decision-making area for the month. You only have a few days left, so you want to look at what that's kind of shaping up to be, and the 2 hours overbought. So what do you think happens next week? Well, there is potential that you're going to do this, but if you look at the 30-minute chart as well, you notice there is no divergence here either. So if you're going to break down on that 2 hour, you might want to see this break down over time, or see this curl down, curl up, show that divergence to break down over time, and then be able to curl up one more time to reject. All right, that's how long this can continue on. And this is like the most, clear way that I could think about it happening into the future. We'll see. It could just 2 hour pullback anytime with these type of things going on. Yeah, you can literally 2 hour pullback at any time. Palantir is falling, wondering where is entry. Okay, perfect. So Palantir, this would be your entry bar. This is where you can either say, hey, I'm going to take it early. I'm going to just stay in the play. I'm going to take it early. Actually, Palantir's confirmation was over here. Sorry about that. Palantir already confirmed on the 30-minute. We were talking about the 15-minute and having to do something there. Notice that now Palantir is confirming on the 2 hour. So that 30-minute is when you take it. 2 hours when you could stack it if you would like. A lot of the time, though, now that if the 2 hour does cross down and it looks like it's getting kind of aggressive, you always want to keep your eye on this 30-minute. If it's good money, right? If this is a fast enough move to where you can make some money, I always suggest like, hey, try to make some money. Leave a bunch of runners in this scenario. It's just starting, but why not take a couple off just to be like, okay, I made some money off the play. All right, you look for like Palantir's daily expected move today. You say, or like weekly expected move this week. You look for those type of things. It can get interesting. Daily expected move for today. I believe you're already at it. Palantir. No, you got like one more point. Just so you're aware. Yeah, Palantir. Now, watch for Palantir to come into like 139. Now, these things will get bounces, but the 30 minutes not oversold yet. And really, if you were holding for the entire 2 hour move, you're just kind of chilling. And you're going, okay, this 30-minute has to like show me it can reverse around if it's going to go bad. Or it can plummet down, right? It can come into this area, retest these, and break down again to really break into this zone. So really what you're targeting here is kind of the center. You're kind of like, hey, okay, 139. 139 is what the 30-minute trade would say to get to. The 2 hour trade would say, I want to get to where? The 2 hour is suggesting it's going to come down further, potentially into this area right here. Best case scenario right here. This is where the 2 hour would potentially be oversold and need a bounce. And then we can see if that rejects to go down even lower. And then that's where we see if we can break the low. We could break that pretty aggressively if we want to. Come back to it later. So you're just monitoring it now. You've seen all the confirmations. Good stuff. So entry now, if I missed entry, like say I missed entry or something like that, I'm looking for like, hey, when are these people retested, if they even get retested? Yeah, this is why timing is everything. This is why we posted it to Patreon and said, watch for confirmation, right? 30-minute confirms. That's the first stair stepper move. Damn, nice. Hopefully someone made some money off that. This is why we posted this one to Patreon. This one is something that says, hey, I should be very easy to try to execute a trade. And look at this, we're bouncing off of daily expected move. So now if you're saying, hey, we're going to go up from here, it has to take this back. So what's very likely to happen is you're going to like reach into here, and then you're just going to fall again. But 30-minute, not even oversold. I can always whip back up, right? But you're paying attention to the management of the trade. This is why I just suggest this is a great move really fast, and you're at a daily expected move. So it's like if I have 10 contracts, I might sell 2, make a little bit of money. Apple actually got some life. That's crazy, dude. Ah, it's rejecting again. Ugh. It really doesn't like that point, does it? It's a good thing you didn't at least lose this wick, but, you know, as you break out of the zone, you're kind of like, okay, do we test back into it again to reject down again? So watch if 30-minute rolls here. I still think 2-hour pullback might be the most probable unless we're able to curl up that daily chart today. Like I said, I wonder, like, if things just pop off, everything changes in the next couple of weeks if we see an absolute, like, pop-off kind of moment in July. Quick topic change. How's the wife? She is fantastic. And if Richard's in here, I don't know if Richard's in here today. I can't tell. But if Richard's in here, my mother-in-law won't take $100 from me. So I literally am being like, it is not from me. It is from someone in my community. They wanted to spread some love. It's like, God, she's a very proud woman. She won't take my money. Thoughts on AMD? I'll do AMD. My thoughts on AMD is you could see a 30-minute divergence here today. Oh, shit. What the hell just happened here? Okay. Yeah, my thoughts on AMD are you could see like 30-minute divergence today. This could keep popping off though, right? It's just keep going, keep going, keep going. It's doing something crazy. The most probable thing to happen is you get a 2-hour pullback and then you get the 2-hour to move even higher. You get a 2-hour pullback, the 2-hour actually goes up, right? 2-hour pulls down, down, down. We start to go up, up, up. Then we start to run into problems. So what's most probable now is you keep squeezing, and then whenever you see reverse signals, whenever you see those, whenever, it could literally be over here. It could be right here. It could be right here, right? I think it's sooner rather than later. Personally, I think it's sooner rather than later. But for AMD, it's just going to keep squeezing until it shows you the things in order to break down. You don't see the things in order to break down. So you might hear that. You might hear that and say, oh, he's saying, oh, it's going to go up until it goes down. No, I'm saying it's going to go up until it shows you a reason to go down. It's going to go up until it shows you the reason to go down. Right? So wait for the reason to go down. You might have 30-minute divergence there soon, but it's very, very sporadic. Expert opinion on Meta. Meta, I think, can continue the move. We're actually getting to the 736. So like I said, if you're going to see something really ugly all of a sudden, it's kind of saying like, hey, like, it's more likely to just continue the move. We just violated all these divergences. Like you almost violated the main divergence point here. So now it's extended across. You have these blips in it. You're kind of extending above these areas. You still have like 4-hour, I think. I believe Meta still had 4 hours. So you still have 4-hour divergence. So this could reverse down at any time. That 4-hour does cross. But if the 2-hour wants to go again, maybe we do this into this, right? Or we're going to see this just break down and then react up. And then the 9th will be a lower high for something like Meta. So what you're looking for is a break of these lows. You are outside of the monthly expected move, which means 68% chance to do this by Monday. And you don't want to say like, oh, that's definitely going to happen, but you just want to be aware, like, hey, what does the 2-hour look like? Oh, the 2 hour is kind of overbought. So maybe it does want to pull back into this area in order to head up later on, or maybe it wants to see something dramatic, right? All we know is it's very, very freaking risky to be starting long positions here and to be not taking any kind of profit here. We are up to 736 now, right? The next level. The first level was here. The second level we made the other day, we were like, hey, it could extend all the way to 736. Right, that's something that technically I had the lower side marked off. I did some more work and just looked at it a little thoroughly and marked off the higher point. And I was like, if it really wants to, it could get all the way to there. Ooh, but right now you're in the risky spot. You're within the bar that fully broke you down in the past. So you have to just be like, okay, I'm aware the 2 hours overbought, the 30 minutes overbought, the daily here is overbought with divergence. This is very risky to hold over the weekend. It can do this, but it won't consistently do that. It consistently, more often than not, will do this before doing that. It will do this before doing that. So I think what a lot of people are running into with this squeeze is their strategies don't match up to the price action or your indicators right now. And so people are kind of scrambling like, what do I have to trade? You do not have to trade anything. Okay? Well, Meta, if you guys remember way back, we were talking about the divergence for Meta, right? Divergence for Meta, divergence for Amazon, Tesla, right? These divergences mean something. Right, this was just a rejection one too. It's just on the RSI. But it's very, very nice. Now, if we take that into consideration, what are we seeing? Well, right here we saw divergence. Now we are potentially forming a divergence here. So what can happen? Well, that happened when we made a divergence. So why can't that happen if we make a divergence? Why not? Why can't this happen if we make a divergence? But what can happen? This. But did this produce that? Did this go up and then roll? Did this go up high enough and then get another curl up? Did this catch itself right here and go up? Right? That's kind of what you're dealing with right now. But you do have daily divergence here for forming for Meta. So just, it tells you, be freaking cautious. You're going, like, the trade is done. The trade was technically done here. The next trade was potential for a squeeze here if you have the balls to take it. I don't like taking those. And then you get up to here and you go, okay, sick, I made some more money. Holy crap, that was risky. I'm done. Like, that's the truth of it. There was like multiple setups here. One, probably, I think this time we did SPY, so I guess 2 for the SPY, but still just like 1 or 1 for the runners. 2, monthly move, easy trade, right? Easy. Then down across, pops to the upside, risky trade, happens to work out. Awesome, you're paying attention to stuff correctly. Now you're in the risky spot where just drops can come out of nowhere. Drops can literally come out of nowhere with this type of stuff. And you have volatility that's showing you forms of weakness, by the way. I know I'm clicking around a bunch, but I just want to make sure you're getting some information here. Like, look at all of these divergences on the MACD and the fine divergence here now. The divergence in the near term that became significant. So literally right now, volatility is saying, now I can pop up. Now the 2 hour can take back the 9 on the 2 hour. Now the VIX can go test the 5-day moving average, right? Now it can go up to here. Now it can reject. Then it can head down. Then we could see that curl back up, right? We talked about that a little bit ago. Or give us the higher low. But all you know is people ain't hedging as much anymore. They're hedging with options a little bit. Like, you can see it in the demand in certain contracts, but they're not hedging overall. You can see that. Not a lot of people are hedging because volatility would be going up a little bit if people were hedging a little bit. It's not going up. It's breaking down. Yeah, AVGO's divergence, though, I don't know about this one for the 30-minute. I think you pay attention to it. I think it's high enough. Uh, I gave it some flack. I think that right now, if you can get a good confirmation, and I would say I want a solid one. I want one that like takes me below the 20. I think that would be good to say like, okay, I can put the risk on if the 15-minute rolls up. Okay, the 15-minute rolls up. It's very likely to try to come down into 256. It's very likely to do so with a 2-hour pullback right now. You're pretty damn likely to see something like that take place. Or just that long drug out pullback that then curls up, right? But you do have the opportunity to do like all of this before you can go like this, right? See that volatility increase, then you start to roll towards that 9th. Just paying attention to the timing of the 9th right now. That looks like the next point where we could see some bad things. Do you still expect a lower low or just a pullback? No, oh, lower low. No, 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 no. Be hearty. No, 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 no. If you are someone who is expecting these lows over here tested, that is not on the table at all right now. Just so you're aware, that is not on the table at all. I would rather you be saying like 620 before you're saying 500. That's not shown to you on the table at all. If that comes up, we will let you know, be hearty. But right now, it's just not there. You're way more likely to see a pullback, a meaningful pullback like this one. You're more likely to see just something like this real quick, which means that roll can be pretty significant because look at that move compared to what we've done. So you can get a pretty significant roll. It's not just going to be like 3 days of this. I think you could see like this, right? Where it's just a little bit deeper. Notice that this point right here was not the most massive roll in the world, right? If we rolled from there, we would hold up in the first zone. It's possible. We'll pay attention to it, but when you're making daily divergence, it's much more likely to get to like right here. 580, 585. Even this, if it wants to extend a little bit further, we could get all the way by the end of July down into like 565. Now, that's considering we make reversal signals and show weakness and actually break down. If we raise the floor, then you only pull back down into here, right? That's why we're talking about 585 more and more, because around here, we were like, hey, you could roll and go to here. Around here, we're like, hey, you could roll and go to here. But once we do this, you go, oh, we could hold up better. Once you do the next one, where you use the zone to go higher, you say, oh, that zone, we like that zone. That's all you think about. But this is not on the table at all. In order for this to be even on the table, you have to lose 541. Like that's the way, that's how bullish this move is. Right? You have to like come down to this area like fast, potentially fast in a moment, then react up, then reverse back down and not make a divergence. Like that's a lot of work. Like that is a big, big estimate. When you're like, okay, so that means I have to break down to like here to say we're breaking down to potentially test here. Okay, so if I just curl up here, it's bullish. If I curl up here, it's bullish. If I curl up here, it's bullish, bullish, bullish. Right? You have a lot of space. We're going to use weekly charts to help us. We're going to use weekly charts to help us. Today, well, would you see the pullback land? Well, I'm wondering if we're going to land outside of these moves, if we're going to go test 615 early. It looks like we're testing 615 early. So as we're getting to daily expected move early, it's still this now. So now you like just this move right here, just so you see. I want you to understand how these things like work. We just violated divergence just now. If that bar prints and we go to 615, you're violating divergence. That means what? We can see further squeezing. We can just see a 30-minute pullback first now. I know, it's pretty crazy. You can get triple divergence on your MACD. You can get lots of things. Like just by doing this, you have now said, now we can do this. Then we 2-hour pullback. Then we see upside potentially on July 9th. Then we head to the upside. Then we go up. Then we keep, that's kind of like the July continuation. That's how you continue into July OpEx. So this is starting to say, hey, we're starting to open doors to even further out. But does that mean that there's still no risk to form stuff before? No, we watch where it forms. That's why I'm liking sitting kind of on the sidelines here. I'm liking sitting on the sidelines because I am humble. I understand that I can say I do not have to know everything all the time, or at least know everything to the extent that I want to take a trade with it, and I'm very confident with that trade. I can be honest with myself and say, I don't think I'll be able to execute a trade well here, so I'm going to sit back and relax. And whenever the market shows me that it wants to tip over, I'm going to do something. If the market just tips over for no reason and then curls up and rejects, I will do something. Until those things happen. It's just squeeze. So you literally have just this little thing today, not pulling back to 608.74 in the morning here, has overall said, hey, we can extend this move even higher now if we really want to. Why? Look at your RSI. You think that that's going to be a divergence in any way? So you still haven't confirmed a divergence, and you still haven't made a lower high. So which direction are you going to go? Well, if you keep making higher lows, which direction are you going to go? Up. And if you want to keep going up and squeeze, this is the time to do it outside of the weekly expected move on a Friday. Sidelines is perfectly like I've been very happy on the sidelines. I've been just going to the pool like every day. I've been just literally going to the pool, hanging out. Look at Palantir playing out. Hopefully you were watching. Damn, I should have just done that one. I should have done that one. I'm paying too much attention to meta. God dang it. But that's a solid one. It's working out. But I've been just like eating good food, working out, hitting up the splash pad with the girls, enjoying my life. You know, I didn't get my vacation. You guys remember I was supposed to be on vacation. Like I think it was like a week ago. And I didn't get my vacation, so I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna sit out of the market. I'll still like look at it, analyze, and see if there's a time where I really want to execute. Fucking Palantir. I don't know what in my brain made me not want to do Palantir. I literally don't know what stopped me from doing Palantir. I have in my notes Palantir here. I literally have Palantir golden setup written right there. I still don't do anything with it. You managed Palantir? What made you manage Palantir? 30-minute confirmed, and the 15-minute never rotated back up. And then we lost the low, and we lost the 5. So I'm not trying to come at you, by the way. I'm just saying, like, my management for the trade did not trigger here at all. The 30-minute confirmed, and then the 15-minute never rotated up. And now you're below a daily expected move, where you're starting to test exactly where you want to. Remember when we said the center? What was it? 139 is what I shouted out. 139. We got to 138, and you're still going. Crazy move. Still, me being me, I like to take little bits of profit. It's a daily expected move, so I'm not saying like, oh, big decision time. But you're probably going to get some kind of bounce eventually from Palantir, unless it's like really bad. But why is Palantir dumping off right now? Does anyone know? Like, what's the point? Anthony Jessel, who the heck is that? I'll look. Usually I get Cumberbatch. Oh. The comedian? Yo, my dude looking good these days. Hell yeah. He's got a new flow to him. He doesn't have that 90s look no more. Yeah, I think I usually get Cumberbatch. I get like Paul Rudd. I get like sexy Paul Rudd is what I hear, you know? But, you know, that could be girls tooting my horn. I don't know. Yeah, we can look at hymns. Very nice for Palantir. Hopefully, I really hope someone benefited from that. I'm mad at myself right now. If no one took that trade with Palantir, I'm going to be pissed because I'm mad at myself for not taking it. This is very, very good here for hymns to see a 2-hour upside move. If you look at the 30-minute, you're seeing the rejection divergence, right? Directly from the line. Wow, that magical place that gives you a place to pay attention to for reversal signals. Then you get one from Tesla last week. Then you get one from HIMS yesterday, and then it curls to the upside. This is very, very good. Now, what are you looking for still? The 2 hour is extremely negative. Now, this is a good reaction, and you might do what? Ping pong, right? But for something like HIMS, the daily has already pulled back. So if you're not going to lose that red zone, then just get this 2 hour going, man. Get that 2 hour to go, go, go. Get a higher low. That rhymed. That was a lot of fun. Or you're going to reject from the lower end of this and turn down. And you potentially could lose that low. You could potentially make a higher low because the buying is very strong here. So weirdly enough, HIMS, I'm kind of leaning towards like up into a pullback, into up again, and then we're crossing up that daily chart. I think that's how I see it. Who pays attention to HIMS in this chat? Wasn't Oakland Group pays attention to HIMS. I wonder if HIMS has that, or he has that assessment. I like to hear you guys' opinions, but with all the good buying, I would say this pulling back, maybe even just a retest. Maybe it doesn't even curl over a MACD, but then curls up. That can be a good thing. Now, let's really talk about this though. I know I'm saying it's a good thing, right? But if you just react up to here and you curl down, it's risky. You're in negative territory, right? Your technicals would say it's risky. Price action would say, we're fine. It's going to tap into buyers and go up. But your indicators would say, hey, if I'm negative and I'm rolling, we could test this low, go make a new one, right? So you kind of want to see some good strength here. You pretty much, you want this, I would say, to at least get to like 50, I'll say 55. 55. If you can get that at least up to like 55, then you have a lot of buyers beneath you to try to, maybe even you revisit this zone for a moment to go up. But overall, there's a 30-minute trade for a 2 hour move to the upside, and that already played out. So now you're a little bit behind on the trade. The trade was here to potentially say if you made a daily or weekly expected move. Since SPY looked like it might squeeze, figured that. I kind of thought the same thing, I think, Duranto, because the SPY saying, I want to do this, doesn't really make me think like, oh, Palantir is safe from doing this right now. This is why I'm like, hey, this is why I take profit and things like that early. But this is confirming divergence. So maybe Palantir's telling you something here. Maybe Palantir's telling you something here. And that's why I like to just let the signals and stuff dictate my trades. Because I just go, I can think whatever I want to think about Palantir, but all I know right now, let's talk about the technicals here. It's just there's a 2 hour divergence confirming after a 30-minute divergence confirmed. And there's a daily divergence above it as well. So if you take all that into consideration, you're losing the 5, you're doing all that good stuff, you know the management for the trade, that's all you need. Jim. 615 would be still the next point to pay attention. I don't know if we're fully there yet. And the 30-minute did suggest it can continue the move now. Let me look for news next week as well. Oh, like data. Spending. Michigan consumer sentiment is frickin' supposed to come in at 60. Jolts on Tuesday. And then Thursday we get non-farm payrolls and unemployment with ISM services PMI after the open. So before the open, you'll get unemployment. After the open, you get ISM services PMI. And then on the 9th, you will get, oh, look at that. Oh, of course. Okay, so remember how on the 9th, you do get, on the 9th, you do get the 90-day pause finished, right? For Mr. Trump, for President Trump. And on the 9th, we have an FOMC minutes. Yay. A reason for the market to go up or down because now you have two. Or a reason for the market to go up, and then after hours, Trump talks and it goes down. The reason for the market to go down at 1 p.m. my time for the 9th FOMC minutes. And then it goes up because of the July 9th Trump tariffs. So we'll have some fun around then, is what I'm overall getting at. Okay, now is where the risk starts to become riskier and the reward starts to become smaller to the upside, just so you are aware. I think you're starting to see 30-minute for AMD. I'll take another look on my other charts real quick because we've looked at it a few times, but I think you're starting to make 30-minute divergence, yes. I would pay attention to anytime you get a confirmation of the 30-minute below its 20. I'd be starting to watch for the 2-hour pullback. It's in the script. That's right. Wait. Shit. I know this picture. Kinetic Star, I know this picture. We literally talked like back and forth. So, oh gosh. No, that's not Justin. I know that's Justin because it's Justin Lim. Nope, can't get it. Freaking expensive. Yeah, metas. If you like meta for me, I do month out plays on meta every once in a while, but you're right, it can be expensive. I don't buy too many contracts. I think like the most contracts I bought a month out for meta was like I think it was like 6. But for meta, you can play the like 2-hour moves. So you can still do like a 3-week, get a little time or something like that once you're sure. So for meta, it would be like, okay, maybe I don't want to play this one, but once I do this, I can play this. And then I would say, okay, take it off, get that bounce. Okay, put it back on to spread the time. That way I keep it cheap. Because you're very likely to do something like that. So that's just where, hey, okay, I'm going to take profit a little earlier, look for those bounces, get back in. Because it's a little expensive. Richard, you heard me this morning, right? You heard me talk about you for a second, right? I said my mother-in-law won't take my money, so she won't take the money from me. And then I'm trying to explain to her like someone from my community gave the money, not me, because she won't take my money. Oh, Latin mamas. They never want me to give them money. She always wants to feed me. She always says I'm skinny. And and my goodness, is she a great grandma? And so I want to do all those things. I said, shut up and take my money. I'm going to tell her. I'm literally going to like put it in her purse if she doesn't accept it. But I'm going to try to be like, this is from someone in my, like, I'm still trying to get her to understand what's going on. My wife's going to try to do it this morning. SPY ain't stopping at 6:15. Ooh. It might not. No, it doesn't have to, right? These aren't have to levels. If it really wanted to, if they wanted to get this as greedy as possible, you do this and then you black swan this bad boy. How crazy would it be to get to 618, new all-time highs, black swan that bad boy? I don't think that's likely. Usually you do see another push higher to really bait in people. Say like, you never want, like market makers, if you think of psychology, and here's the all-time high, you never want to just go all-time high and then sell it off, right? You want to go all-time high, show something a little scary, people be like, oh, it's a trap, then it goes up and they go, we're back in it, baby, then it falls. You always want the FOMO push. This doesn't look like a FOMO push. This looks like a squeeze, just a regular squeeze. The FOMO push would be the next one, where you see something bad, but volatility picks up and people buy it anyway. $6.30, not 5. Don't say 5:30. I know what you're talking about, and I know your picture. I just can't remember everyone's name. I see Noah's in here. Jim Cramer just turned bullish. Okay, yeah, we all buy puts. I mean, AMD is suggesting now that it could get rejection divergence, but you're still waiting for good confirmations. The only one that I see, that I've seen this morning, that has really confirmed the good divergences and still has time to violate that, by the way. This is why I was talking about profit potential taking at just a little bit, right? It's just taking profit on the way down, right? If you're in an uptrend and those people who buy like say like year out contracts and they have all this time, they don't care if the market goes down a little bit more and then it goes up, and they'll be like, okay, that's my first little sell point. All right, second little sell point. All right, third little sell point, and then it goes up past their time, right? They sell throughout the move. And we use weekly expected moves to do so, but this is the one that confirmed everything. AMC and GME not necessarily getting going. I think Microsoft was trying to and then failed. I think Microsoft could be a fun one to try to catch the 2-hour move. Now you're looking for a move down to like 485 from this. The 2-hour is suggesting it will continue. The 2-hour is saying we are going to pull back. We are going to continue the move. Then we might experience something bad. Or we're going to do something like this, right? Oh shit, dude. I have sat here this whole time. I haven't drank one bit of my coffee. The 2-hour is suggesting you can continue the move. Now, if the daily rotates down, though, I still would be a little weary of Microsoft. Because if this last little blip here is violating divergence, but that's in some way FOMOers, just be aware if the daily chart does cross down on everything. I'm talking 3 reasons, right? Make sure it's good, but the daily crosses down with price action, with the momentum in the MACD, and with the momentum of the RSI. Like AMD, someone pointing this out, the look of it right now says, hey, yeah, we could have that potential divergence point, but how do you know if this is a potential divergence point, like a good probability of being one? You need a confirmation from the 30-minute below the 9-day moving average. Then you can get a 2-hour pullback. Where would that 2-hour pullback like to go? If it wants to be really bullish, it just slow grinds down into like 138, and then it just figures its stuff out. If it wants to be more sporadic, then you can go all the way to the bottom of this zone, I would say. You can go like this. You can even lose that, come and take care of gap. You can do this into a big move to the upside where you could potentially set traps. So AMD has risen that floor. So you would expect a little bit higher than this after a pullback. If it changes, we change, right? 630. That would be potentially the up in July play. You still would go through 2-hour pullbacks before you get to 630. If we just scream to 630, what money pumping is taking place? It's easy to know. All the red numbers. Oh, people are bullish too on this. People getting mega bullish here too. It's not necessarily like a bearish sign, but oh man. Let's do like a 1-hour chart real quick. Let's see. No, that's pretty damn bullish. The time to reverse around was like here. So you see how we potentially extended the floor to do this again. So if you really see, this was what we were paying attention to as well. And now we're seeing that drop off, meaning we could see like a spike up, another spike down, and then do that again. Like, do you see this moment right here? Bam, big one, holds, big one. You got rid of that. So everything is saying continuation. And if you do see a drop, it's potentially black swan like no, not really expected by the market at all at this point. If we continue the move into July 9th or that Friday now, especially with this move higher, if we continue into even July OpX, okay, we're still looking for reversal signals. God dang it. I chose to be patient, and now I might have to be even more patient. This market's just resilient. Ugh, looks like more vacates. Oh wait, I got July 4th. It's my favorite holiday. What am I complaining about? Oh, it's freaking crazy, isn't it, Swiftsir? I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying. We have enjoyed a lot of the strength of the market, so we can show our appreciation to the market, right, by saying, "Awesome, we saw things pretty well." And now we're starting to see that euphoric upside at the end of it all to get to the monthly expected move. And I'm just like, that's okay. I'm just not going to play it. But a lot of different things could happen here. But notice the bullish thing happened, right? The extend the move happened. Come on. Come on, desk. Let's go look at the other indices. There's potential 30-minute divergence, but I don't think that's crossing down. This IWM, we're still looking if IWM can get to 222. That would be crazy, but it's really pointing in that direction. Really pointing up there. 30-minute divergence here, but it's just no way confirming right now. We'll see if it does. This one's gone, so that's very likely to continue as well. These are not the correct levels. I don't believe they are. It's getting to where it needs to get to. So you're getting to where you need to get to, which is like right in here. You really would like to take out just this wick here, but that kind of gets you in the ping pong in this area. So it's a good thing what you're doing now. And you see how we're just extending the move. So if you're saying daily pullback right now, well, you might be right eventually, but also you can extend that move for a bit of time. So now we're 2 hours overbought. What happens when the 2 hour gets overbought? Sometimes we pull back to that 5, just like right here. And so we can pull back to that 5, and then we can curl up, right, and see if we got more upside, or reversal signal, or reversal signal. So if we're going to keep going up, then we should continue to see pullbacks light that turn up, or even aggressive that turns up, as long as it's positive. Damn, market is crazy strong. Even DIA looks freaking insane. We are actually... Wow, are we really... Are we actually, like, are we going to do the July thing? Like, this is how you do it. You just kind of do this. You look like you're going to roll, then you boom. Then you look like you're going to roll, then you boom. Then you look like you're going to roll, then you just grind. Roll, grind. Damn. Interesting. I don't know about that one. I'm still inclined to say daily pullback. I don't think I'm leaning towards the up July. Hey, good luck, Anthony. Hope it works out for you, bud. Palantir has a golden setup for reversal signal to the downside, but I hope it goes well for you. It can be wrong. You could be right. Oh yeah, that's perfectly fine, right? You can still watch things, Toronto. I know it's Toronto over there. You can still just watch things and be like, okay, this is gonna pull back, but it's still a very bullish trend. Put for next week, bud. The only play that I distributed out on Patreon was Palantir, and that's already played out pretty nicely. And now we're bouncing from daily expected move, so it's going to bounce at times. If you're looking for the bigger move down, the 2 hour has a little bit of time here to confirm. You still have an hour and 15 minutes left. But this is the only one that I shouted out. It saw some weakness here. I wouldn't say it saw enough, but is it done? You know, is it done even for today? We'll see. Is it done for next week? Who can give me the why? Is there news on Palantir? If there's no news on Palantir, please tell me. Let's see here. Can I get like a... Oh, come on. Yeah, there's so much fucking spam on here, bro. Okay, let me just do this. Oh, so they struck a deal. It was a sell the news event. Buy the rumor, sell the news. And now it's dipping down. And then you see if that dip down is going to be able to buy back up, because it's not necessarily bad news. AI nuclear power deal. as of a day ago, 17 hours ago, 43 minutes ago. I mean, the signals say it's going to put daily pullback. High or low, right? Right. Well, technically, if this 30-minute, if you think it's risky, you know, the 30-minute crosses up, you could say the 2 hours not able to go down, right? So you'd say, hey, if the 30-minute crosses back up, but it has to do this to cross back up. This is why I was like, hey, if I take some profit here and then we go like this, I'm not as worried. I already made some money. And we're very likely to try to test in here, right? Do this, come into here, pull down again. It could be quick too. Literally, look at your 5-minute. It's so deep. You have no reversal signal from the 5-minute at all. So you have a straight up downside pathway there. We'll see. It's a golden setup. We'll see. If Palantir is telling us something that the market is not, then Palantir is saying there's weakness here, and the SPY is saying no, there's not. My thoughts on Google. Let's go over Google because I have to remember what my thoughts are. I think it was 2-hour lower. Yeah, 2-hour lower high. Now, you did reach up to the maximum point you could. And you do have some gaps down below you. So if the 2-hour rolls, though, it is risky. If the 2-hour rolls, it's still close to that center line. So right now, if the 2-hour can extend, that's different. I think 30-minute pullback seems very probable here. Go test the 5-day and then see what happens. I would like us to hold up in these buyers at the least. If you start to lose this stuff, you start to open up the door, right? The 2 hour is going to be crossing. It's not necessarily a good thing, but I wouldn't mind Google to come back down into 170 and then be able to see some more upside. If the 2 hour is going to drop here, then I think you have potential for 2-hour divergence or potential for a 2-hour higher low. Now, I know that's crazy and it's going to be fast. Maybe you want to look at a 30-minute or an hourly chart for this, but if the 2-hour can drop down into here, this is great, and this is the bar that you gapped up from. So even if you just do this, and then you curl up into positive territory, that's still a good thing for Google. So pretty much you're just in a risky spot as far as momentum goes. So you don't know if you're going to break the low or not. And so you're just like, okay, risk off. All right, then we see 30 minutes something, and then we curl up, and you go, okay, risk on. Now we take out the high, go make another one, and you have a little thing from like here to a weekly expected move. That's why I like 2-hour charts. Usually they're one, like a 2-hour chart, they're one move, their first leg up, normally will get you to a weekly expected move, right? So that's why I really like 2-hour charts as well. Like this, wham. Wham. Google might even be out of weekly. I don't know. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, here we go. Getting some fight here at that 615. It's still like, you know, anything can squeeze, right? I just like to talk about when it's an opportunity. And I don't think Google, well, I mean, I guess I didn't look at daily charts. I need to look at a daily chart for Google as well. Yeah, Google hasn't curled up here yet. So I think you're going to get a daily curl up. I think that's potential. But I just think you might do this for a couple days first. Then you kind of curl up. And maybe you see something sporadic to get to here. And then you kind of start to flop. If you break through this, you're raising that floor. We're going to keep going. Or it's at least, you know, what I like to say is we're going to keep going because that's most probable. But when you take out those zones, you just want to be like, something crazy would have to happen to tear us down now. That's kind of like the SPY. Something crazy would have to happen to tear us through this, 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 and this low, and this down here, right? But something really crazy would just have to happen to take us through this, this, and that's it. Something a little crazy. Something really crazy would start to take you through all that. Like pretty much get rid of this circle. It would break the circle. I just don't think you have the signals for that yet. I think you could have. I think you could soon. Let me take. I'll take a double peek here. I think I was looking at this last night. I want to see if it's still shaping up. Yeah, even right now. Even right freaking now. I'm going to show you something that can maybe tell you like, hey, maybe just like having a good weekend without holding things is a good thing. This right now, you have 30-minute divergence in the 2-hour once that pop. The 2-hour is likely to do this, by the way. But if this daily just randomly see volatility come in, we see a black swan moment, and daily starts to turn up, you have divergence all across this. See it on MACD, right? It's there on the MACD. See it on the RSI. So if you go through something bad this weekend, it could be very, very bad. I'm just telling you about risk over the weekend. As of right now, it's curling down, right? You're like, oh, it's curled down though. Okay, then it's still bullish. But I choose not to be bullish up towards 618. I chose to be bullish down here, and over here. This one I chose not to play. And boom, we get to 618. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get bullish here. I'm gonna start to add contracts here. And it's just not gonna work for me most of the time. I need to see like up and then consolidate and then up for me to get in. Like volatility is showing daily divergence. I don't care if it's curled down right now. I'm going to pay attention. I'm not going to be buying stocks right now. Or maybe certain ones, but I'm saying like I'm not going to be buying call options on the SPY now. That makes no sense. The time to do it was 30-minute divergence. Boom, bing, pow. But I chose not to play. Lame. Yeah, so if you're wondering about Palantir still, you have confirmed divergence on the 30-minute. You're waiting to see the confirmation of the 2-hour. So if you were taking that and say, hey, could it still do something irrational to the upside? Then the 30-minute chart would curl up into positive territory. That is why I was suggesting, hey, this is an aggressive move. The premium's going to go up all of a sudden. People are going to be taken off guard by it. If the premium goes up and it's an amount of money you like, if the trade is enough money to take full profit, I do that a lot of the time. I'm just like, hey, nice trade. If I know that it's a golden setup, right? Then I'm looking at it and I go, I'm gonna still see if I saw a 3% move in a matter of an hour. Yeah, if I have 10 contracts, I'm gonna sell a couple. I'm gonna make my money. And then if it bounces up and the 30-minute crosses up, I still made money in the play. Do you see the mentality there? It's not I'm holding to this target. It's also, hey, I saw that move really, really fast. It's not at my target, but my premium is really high. My option is worth a lot. That's kind of how I look at things. So if the 30-minute crosses up, though, you have a chance. But you have a lot of things suggesting that Palantir is going to pull down. Like a lot. Those cross over weekly charts too. But there is that one scenario where the SPY and the Qs go up all of July, like you just see regular pullbacks like we have recently. There is that scenario. And I don't like that scenario. I'm not leaning towards that scenario, but I'm going to be very aware of it. Any doable or miss out like you all normally do. If you think that we missed out on anything in this market ever in 2025, you're just wrong. You do not follow this channel at all. Like you just don't. You literally just don't. If you're reading my thumbnails and saying that I'm bearish, you're just blatantly not paying attention. Oh, I love it. Like, for like, hey guys, I think there's a 30-minute divergence and we're going to see a 2-hour move to the upside. Then we're going to see a 2-hour pullback and then we're going to see a 2-hour move to the upside into July 9th. And we're going to set up towards like 618, 620 maybe by that time. That's bearish. Oh God. YouTube people, man. People on YouTube. The thing is like, I think it's so funny that people think they have to like come in chats on YouTube. Like if you're so right, you wouldn't care about coming onto YouTube. If you're making money, I never came into YouTube and said something negative in someone's chat. I just never did. Ever. And I used to be a guy that used to go into some chats every once in a while. I would just sit there. I would say some things, some ideas. But other than that, I'd just be like, if I'm making money, there's no reason for me to attack other people trying to make money. You're not trying to be helpful. You're trying to gloat. You're trying to be a douche. Like, nobody here, literally nobody here, at least on my end, maybe you guys, but everyone here is just following the charts. And at moments of weakness, we're going to pay attention. But when that weakness goes away, we pay attention to the most probable thing, right? It's as simple as that. I do not understand people on YouTube. I really don't. Like, you're not, I know this psychologically. I know that you are most likely a very low end, not profitable trader if you go and just spread negativity because you have a lot of time on your hands. If you have a lot of time on your hands, go work so that you can invest more money, right? That's what I say on this channel. Don't spend your time in YouTube channels trying to debate people for no reason when all that matters is when do you buy your stock and when do you sell your stock? That's all that matters. That's why sometimes when we chat about stuff even in here, I'm like, but we can't change that. We talk about politics, we're like, yeah, we can talk about it, but we can't really change anything there. Like, in some cases you can, but I'm sorry, but you had to say it. It had to be said, Richard. It had to be said, Arcane. It's like you don't make money if you're the way you know a good way to know how people are with their money or if they are like good with their bills and things like that is look how they use their time. If you are using your time to talk negatively and argue with people on YouTube, you're not making money. If you're taking your time to pay attention to things like volatility right now, confirming a 30-minute divergence and the potential for a 2-hour 2 cross up here, then you might be able to make money. I highly suggest if you're spending an hour or two a day throughout the middle of the day, like looking at something that does not make you money, go do something that makes you a little bit of money. Literally, that 2 hours a day will change your life. All my wife started to do, like, because she's bored. Like, to be honest, she was bored before she, everything that's going on. But all she did was she goes, I have a lot of time. Ari takes she was taking 2 naps a day at that point. She had 4 hours of time. So she said, oh, I can't wear my cosplay stuff anymore that I wore that I built myself for 20 or for 10 years. So I'm going to sell that stuff on Facebook Marketplace. So she utilized her free time to make money because she didn't want me to pay for my own Christmas presents. She was able to make, I think it was $900 in 1 month. It's like, just from working, she only did it like once a week. Wouldn't you like an extra $900 a month? You probably have other skills too. You could probably make more than $900 a month with an extra 2 hours a day. I trade for a living, yes. Yes, the benefit to YouTube was I still did exactly what I preach. I like free time. I spend my free time where I'm choosing not to trade to sometimes make money. And so I had that marketing position. And I told early on, if you were part of my YouTube early on, I said, yeah, I thought it would be fun. My wife thought it was a good idea. And I can utilize that ad revenue to say, hey, now I can open up my time even more and spend time with family because now I don't have to do the marketing job. Because I like to still make easy money on the side. So thank you guys for watching the videos and liking because YouTube gives me a little bit of money for my free time. Yeah, just start thinking like that. You'll end up in a way better spot, like how you actually utilize your time. And it doesn't mean every second should be towards making money. It should just be something that improves your life. That's how I think about it. Weaponize our hate to make us profitable. I'm making killer coin and no one knows I exist. I believe you because I don't think I've ever seen that picture before. Per video, you want to know how much YouTube like pays me for video? It's like $8. That's why I don't feel like I have to make an update every day. I'm not trying. It's like $8. I think now it's like 15. But it's like, hey, it's an easy way to make some Christmas money and things like that. And I'm gonna sit here and look at charts anyway. Yeah, so it's about, I think it's like $4 or $5 per thousand views if you just want a calculation for it. So what really keeps this community going is, and truly what really keeps me going is the Patreon community. One, because they pay for some data, but two, because they are people who have shown like, hey, I really want to try to get better. And so I try to put things on Patreon that I see as helpful. And that is why if you want me to pull it up, let's pull up Patreon, right? This is not something that takes a lot of my time. I wish I was more active in it. I will say that. Here was the last picture posted to Patreon. Hi guys, Patreon has a 30-minute divergence, a 2-hour divergence, and a daily divergence at the same time. The golden setup. This is very likely to be a good stock to try to execute a trade on if you were looking for one to practice, is pretty much the vibe we put out there. Then we go and look at Palantir today. And this did not have to work out. It's working out right now. There was a trade to be executed right here. Notice that when we posted the picture, like, I'm not trying to tell you guys what to do. You have to be an adult and understand if you're trying to be a trader is much different from someone who's a follower. What I'm trying to do is unlock you, right? Get it to click in your head, how you can understand markets. And I'm trying to use a bunch of tools that I like that made it click for me. So I want it to click for you. And I hope that someone in the chat out there can say, hey, it's clicking, or it has clicked. I hope that you understand how markets move better now and you can try to execute better with little examples like that. That's what I hope. Right? You can pay attention to what I'm doing if you'd like, but know that we're different people and we might trade differently, whether we're doing the same chart or not. So it's very difficult to do that. I want you to actually be a trader because I think your brain gets better. Like, I genuinely think when you become a good trader and you understand patience, risk, reward, you think about life differently. It's awesome. Like, you start to realize, oh, I'm not trading to make money every minute. I'm trading to open up my time to spend time with family. That is my goal. And so what have I done? What have I done? I've moved my life around to set me up in that scenario to create my perfect little bubble that I like, which happens to be not so perfect because we have a lot of family stuff that's been going on for a couple of weeks now. So if I didn't have that extra time, though, life could be a lot more stressful here. Yeah, it's very nice. Starting to click for me. That's great. Trying to understand. That's great. And Jana's been taking her time with it. And I think I actually will be honest with you, Jana. I think you're having a little bit of a time trying to get this stuff to click. And we need to maybe think about some of those things. Maybe we need to do another private stream to really tackle what's going on and where you're overall confused. And I'm perfectly comfortable doing that. That's the benefit of Patreon. Like, Patreon members literally give their money and it goes directly towards me, my family, my girls. You heard Richard even giving some money so that, because my mother-in-law won't take my money. She literally won't. But she would have taken my money if she needed a $2,000 air conditioner. But the $100, she's like, I have that. It's fine. Still too scared. Okay, so confidence in it. So that's time and market. That's time and market. That's time and market. I genuinely believe that. You need to see these things play out more often. Look at the Palantirs. Don't even trade it if you don't want to. Look how the 30-minute confirmed, and look how the 2-hour is crossing now. And then watch Palantir, Jana, okay? Don't risk, like, if you're really, really green and you're not someone who has good cash flow, who can risk money in the market at small amounts to practice the emotional side of the market and how you'd react, it is okay to just watch things, write it down in a book, see how it played out, and say how you would react and see how the trade would have gone. It's perfectly fine. Oh, not timing. No, not timing. Timing is a thing with options that you would say is necessary, but that's why you pay attention to the management for risk. Timing for investing is a little bit different. A lot of the time, that's where you would say time in market. Time in market as far as option trading goes, though, is just sitting. It literally is sitting and watching and looking at markets and analyzing for years. That's what it took for me to get successful. I'm not one of those stories where I opened an account and it just went like this. No, what happened was I invested, it went like this. I started to do these other things, it went like that. Then it goes like this. Then I started to do like an option. Then I started to learn more about options, went through some turmoil. Then we go up, then we start to go better. And then that trend starts to be more like a stock. And you'll notice that times you'll go like this, you'll get a pullback, you'll have a management for the trade. Then you'll do this. Oh, you'll get another pullback. Okay, management of the trade. Then you'll go like this. You'll see it almost look like a stock. Right? I'm not here to tell you that trading is easy. I'm saying once it really can click for you and how you can understand money, it can become easier as far as being in control. Very nice, guys. Now, someone did say AMD again. Let's go check on AMD real quick. I wanted to look at JP Morgan real quick. JP Morgan, very likely to see another 30-minute move higher. But if the 2 hour is going to drop here, this is where JP Morgan is very, very risky, guys, just so you are aware. The 2 hour is likely to do this into something like this. Okay, you're still likely to see another move higher. You've really started to rise here. So you can set a point any time here and just curl to the upside. But if you start to lose these things in here, you can see how we would break down. Just wanted to point out for JP Morgan, looking a little risky. Looks like it can continue into July 9th if we're able to get another pullback into upside, consolidation into upside. Pullback with time, right? That's pretty much consolidation sideways. Yes, that is very correct, Toronto. That's a lesson a lot of people don't know. A lot of people think I have $10,000, so I have $10,000 to put to a trade. No, you have $10,000 and you have $10,000 to try to be successful and become a trader and be successful for the next 20, 30 years. So do you want to risk all $10,000 on one day, on 1 week, on 1 month? Or would you risk $1,000 on 1 month? Would you risk $1,000 on 2 weeks? That's where the difference in people comes out. JP Morgan is so overextended. I think you could get 2 hour to curl down and curl back up. Oh, you hear me being patient right now. So if you're paying attention, you want to learn from just me directly what I like to do, right? You can do that. You can pay attention to what I do. Just because I show you setups, just because I showed you Palantir, I didn't take Palantir. I'm kind of pissed I didn't because I literally was like, this is great. But I had my notes I was going to be patient, so I'm being patient. Even though I literally have Palantir right underneath it. It's lame. But that's my own mistake. And I'm living with it, and I'm fine because at least I didn't lose money, right? But yeah, if you want to learn from me right now, I'm choosing to be patient. FOMO. I know about FOMO. FOMO's happening right now. You think FOMO's not happening right now? You think FOMO's not happening right now as volatility curls up while the SPY remains up? Volatility has gone up since the morning began. That means people can see someone is hedging. Someone's starting to go, I don't know about this. It looks a little risky. We could pull back or see something bad over the weekend. That's what this little guy means. Of course it is, because I'm not in it. GME, we haven't looked at GME. Did we look at GME? I can't remember. Looking for the daily to cross up still for GME. Still, I'm not happy with the structure too much. It kind of reminds me of Tesla on the 30-minute. Kind of like this. Boom, 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 boom. But GME, the way it did it was so drawn out, and it didn't get back down to the center point. So I'm just like, ugh. It's just, and the buying is the same too. Remember Tesla, the buying is similar too. So I'm like, this worked out for Tesla back then, right? We called this one out. We called it out here to look for it. And I like to say things before. And then we saw the crazy weak, like weird buying. You're just seeing that on GME from the 2 hour perspective. It's kind of like, kind of weak, kind of but also, is that a 2-hour high or low? Right? It's not as obvious as Tesla's little rejection, but this is like, okay, we're starting to break out. So let's break out. We're taking back the 5. That's not a bad thing. We're trying to go positive. That's not a bad thing. So if we get a daily confirmation on like Monday, this thing could take off. It also would do the more probable thing of making you know what the more probable thing here is for GME? The more probable thing is you're going to get a daily to cross up, take care of maybe even both of these gaps, and then reject off and turn down. Or you're not going to even get there and you're only going to get to like 27.50, 28, and then you're going to roll down. That's the more probable scenario right now for GME, actually, based on your indicators, based on your MACD. But if the 2-hour does work and it can get up there and you can take back all of this, it's a little bit different. So you want to see like high or low to break through there. Or just break through, man. Just curl up a daily and go. SoFi, man, does SoFi have a short seller problem? I have to know at this point. Bitcoin, well, we'll talk about that in a sec. I'll talk about Bitcoin right after this. SoFi, for the most part, anybody know? Anybody got me? Because this is a pretty crazy move, and you would say daily pullback, and you would say the 2-hour can continue the move. So the most probable thing for SoFi is to pull down and then curl up into positive territory. Now, that's at some point. I mean, look at the 30-minute. The 30-minute is still saying it can continue, and I think that's crazy, and that's why I'm saying, is there a short seller problem? Because something's like really squeezy there. It's breaking out, which means we rose that floor. That's good. It happens. Oh yeah, Bitcoin. Let's go look at Bitcoin. I got to do daily. We got some other ones down there like Doge. I've made money on Doge. The daily crosses down here. I think we're finally going to get this down here, like into here maybe. You're going to see 93. If not, like if you really need to, like think of this like the market. The market set the low, the market set this, the market set this, the market goes up. Then we go through this. That's not necessarily like bearish, but if you roll this and lose that low, you can end up down in this type of area. Now, we were still looking at that 98.3. We're looking for the daily to cross up. So everything here about the daily is still saying, hey, we can go up, right? But look at the daily starting to try to roll. So if you get a confirmation here, it starts to get risky. Doesn't mean it has to fail completely. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. If you look at the 4-hour chart, you start to ignore a lot of things down here. Why? Look how positive that is. Now, we've seen times where it goes positive and goes back to negative, but what happens at that point? You make a lower high on the 4-hour, and you're negative. So if this goes negative, then curls up, then rejects off, right? Then it can be bad. And a lot of the time, price action people want that low lost first, but what's the most probable thing for Bitcoin? Bitcoin is going to continue to pull back on the 4-hour chart, and then Bitcoin is going to curl up into positive territory. So I think Bitcoin will go down to about a price point of about 103.6 if you wanted a general area to pay attention to. Once again, I treat those as just areas to pay attention, not a hard line. We're not magicians. If the 4-hour is able to curl down to that type of area, then curl back up into positive territory, we can start to see dramatic upside here for Bitcoin. Now, if Bitcoin is going to head to the upside, we'll still be paying attention to what the market does if we do 2-hour pullback, but 4-hour is suggesting that Bitcoin could curl down here for a moment of time. Maybe going into early next week. Thank you, Anthony. Hey, thank you for subbing, Knuckles. My daughter says Knuckles. She goes, Knuckles. Knuckles. We taught her high five. She didn't like high five, so I said Knuckles, and she goes, Knuckles. She likes that one. SoFi does have a short seller problem. Shit. That's what it kind of looks like. It's ramping. We'll see. You need to see a big ass spike like this. Oh my word. What the hell? You didn't even get a pop off with that, really. Are you, oh, is it delayed? Wonder if it's like this where it's delayed. It's around 13%. It might have already seen a lot of what's to come. Here, let's look for a level for SoFi. Actually, where is SoFi? Let me do it on my other charts. I'll give you guys a potential level to pay. If you're seeing something really crazy, then you should be outside of this. 1747. You're outside of weekly, outside of monthly. Okay. If we're going to see something absolutely crazy from SoFi, which I still don't think that justifies starting a position, but if you're in one, SoFi needs to be outside of the monthly here. SoFi 1728. SoFi is in the 5% zone right now. So I'll give you the level. We're going into the end of the month and stuff. But if you want to join Patreon, we normally do give these type of things on Patreon. You will see here for SoFi 1728. And you're up there. So if you're going to mega squeeze, like if you're going to see something insane, this is where if I had contracts down in here and I played this upward move and I saw us get to that line, I take profit here every single time. But in this scenario, I would make sure to leave a few contracts on if I could afford to, just in case like something crazy happened and I wanted to have some fun with it and make some high risk but high reward money there with those last few contracts. Try to see if it can beat 24 and then be done. Yeah, very nice. If we could do this, we can see another pop later in 2026. And that's actually where I see a top in market is towards like first, second quarter 2026. It is doing what it needs to do. Now, you do notice what would normally happen here. Like I know we're looking at a weekly chart, but left, right, head, right shoulder. Okay, so that will be potential, but you're seeing something crazy right now going into Friday. So, and if you close like this, man, I wonder if hedge funds are short selling that one, then and the market's doing the same thing, by the way. So we'll not discount, but something weird is going on here. Okay, GME's not just like going though. I'm heavily inclined to pay attention to names like GME and AMC in July, like right now. I did see AMD try to pull something here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so AMD, this is where you start to watch. This is how a 2-hour can really start to pull back. You actually just see a confirmation like this. You see a bar like that, confirm. It's very likely to get to here. If you're going to pull back further than that for the 2-hour, then it's very likely to pull back to here. This is how you get that 2-hour move into like Monday, Tuesday. So you're looking for a good confirmation using the actual bar. And if you wanted to see RSI is confirming it, but maybe you want to wait. I like price action to give me the good bar. That's usually my go, right, for Palantir. Notice this one is not a go, even though it crossed down the RSI, right? This one right here started to cross that RSI, not a go. This one, go. Very nice. Let me pull up my actual lines here again. Do you think Trump talk with Iran will next week will crash the market if it goes left? What if the talks are successful? Do you think the market will go green temporarily? It's hard to say when you talk about war. because one, both sides are like kind of not doing things at certain times that they're saying they're going to do. They're like children. Um, like, hey, we're having a ceasefire. An hour later, people are shooting off rockets. That's what I'm talking about. So it's hard to say. I would say this: watch the money. If Trump and Iran, if you hear a talk is going to happen with them, and you see a 30-minute divergence confirm at the end of the day, right before they talk, how do you think money is positioning? Is it faking people out to the downside? Are you seeing those buyers take over a little bit? Does it have your 5 reasons to take a trade? That's what matters. We have no idea if it would be good or bad. But I would say that people saw the Iran Israel stuff as risky. And if that was off of the table, people would probably celebrate it. Does that make sense? Glad I listened to the Palantir put shout out. Hey, nice. Not Navin, I hope you're able to make some profit there, buddy. You're able to execute using your skills. That's the goal of showing you those setups, right? Hey, this looks like an easy setup to try to make a trade in multiple different ways. I like it. Yeah, so as far as war goes, I will tell you what I think causes the market to actually crash because of the war. Like, see some kind of mega, like bigger. I still don't think the market will crash here, by the way. And you're welcome, Anthony. I'm going to keep going here for a second. I'll give you my piece because I think you're new here relatively. A couple days ago, we talked about this topic. And I said the real way that wars constantly, especially Israel, because they're always starting a war with someone around there. There's tons of conflict there. Those normally do cause daily pullbacks, and they can be aggressive. But most of the time, I would say, at least from my research, take it with a grain of salt, it might be anecdotal. But with my research, I would say, unless we are seeing a major attack on US something, like a major attack on US embassy, a major attack on the US soil in some way, kind of like a 9/11, that's when I see it as really bad. That's when I see it as like, oh, the market could actually crash from that. But if it's not that level of bad, don't let the news convince you that it's that level of bad when you're seeing a 30-minute divergence and nothing happens the next day. Okay? It has to actually affect the US to affect markets. And if it affects the US and it affects US companies, that's where you see bad reactions. But until you see that moment, it's much more likely just to be used as an excuse to move money for dealers, for rich people to just get pullbacks at the end of the quarter. And then the beginning of the quarter, you see a pullback. And by the end of the quarter, you're starting to head up again. That's how it goes. I'm sorry to say that, but if you're choosing to trade stocks, those are the type of games you will play. Israel never starting a war, they finish it. They kind of started this one, buddy. This time, we don't need to talk about, but each one's mutually exclusive. Both parties start shit. Let's just put it that way. I'm not a sympathizer for any side on this channel. I am just me trying to do the best for my family that I can, who pays attention to some of those topics just because I want to be aware of something that could be risky for my family. That's it. I don't affect anything going on with Israel, Iran. I don't. So don't ask me questions. You can ask for my opinion. I'll give it to you. I'm a straightforward guy. We can disagree, but don't sit there and get mad at me. Like, I don't care. Ain't starting no it won't be no Yeah, you hear me, Richard. You know what's up. Nuclear was real. Yeah, I think it turned out that it was getting to the point of like risk, right? So hey, don't tell the world anything about yourself. Don't tell the internet anything that can be used against you. I'm saying that about Shai McKinnon. I know it's a rough time and we have freedom of speech, but I say my viewpoints because I'm not the most scared guy. I am more than happy to take on some risk, but um, Yeah, if you're someone who isn't in a good spot, just be careful putting stuff out there all the time, okay? You will be much happier without social media. I made that change a while back. I made that change, I think, with you guys in 2024. I was like, I'm deleting everything. I can't do it anymore. And it's literally been a blessing. You know what it does? It gives me another 2 hours a day to not be looking at my phone. I've heard that one before. Whenever I think of Michael Jackson, I think of South Park. I don't know why. I'm gonna keep my eye on AMD. We might even post. This is gonna be like the reason I don't post things like AMD. So I want to discuss like why I posted Palantir. Why posting AMD could work. It's good, but as far as if there's a new person that sees this, AMD's in like that squeeze mode, right? It's not setting up perfect divergences. You notice it's not curled up on the MACD, right? You notice it would be a rejection here. This is kind of why it's like I pick and choose. I choose which ones I want to show the community because I want it to be high successful rate trades. I think this could be a high success one, but it's going to take a little bit more time and market to be comfortable with. All it takes is one crazy comment for the. My chat goes sideways all the time, Anthony, and I'm sorry about that. I have major ADHD, so um, I'm sorry if I ever send the chat for a loop. Yeah, Jonna, and that's because of people like you in there too, Jonna. It's just I want to show you things. Now, Jonna, once again, mark off AMD, right? Just mark it off. Pay attention to it. Get your time in market. Analyze while it happens. Can be good. Exactly. It'll be very careful, Duranto. That's why this one will take more effort. Palantir was pretty simple. It's not even getting that retest yet. You're looking for break of low. So now you're noticing that this happens. So just be aware you can get a big reaction down here. But if you wanted to, this is the real area right here. And so what you're looking for is, hey, did we break that slightly? Then we react up. Then we reject from those sellers right here. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So if you're expecting this to just be a straight shot to the downside, hey, that's fine. Just make sure you have a lot of time for that and make sure, what I like to do is I like to take profit on the way. This is a great move. You have a 5% down move in a day. I guarantee you your contracts are worth money now. So now what's very probable is you're going to go deep, then you're going to react up, and then you'll see, can this do this? Right? But you can also just go, okay, if that rolls again, done. Come into here, come into here, go into here. And then you look for divergences as well. Remember, we're talking about that 2 hour being able to go again for a lot of things in the market. So if Palantir wants to do what? Well, if Palantir wants to make the 2 hour lower high, that would be huge. So I'm talking, we go down like this, we go up like this eventually, and then we curl down and we show like a left head, right shoulder. That's literally how this could behave. So this trade right here, if you were just trying to catch this, might be done. If you're still trying to catch the daily move down, you just have to have some conviction if you're going to hold through potential bounces. So what I like to do is I like to sell put contracts. If I have put contracts, long puts, I like to sell if I see 30-minute divergence or a weekly expected move. So I'll let you know. You can keep having me look at Palantir. We'll look at it together, even though it's making me pissed. I hope it goes down more if you're in it. I really do. SPY. The most likely thing for SPY is this. The most likely thing for SPY is something like this, right? We even had it over here. I was kind of suggesting we would see some upside, so now it's just like that, This is the most likely scenario. And if you want to see the daily time frame, this was created like 2 weeks ago. We pointed out these type of levels. We even said, hey, it could go up to here, but hey, this is what we had drawn. And then we see pullback into the July expiration, and then we could potentially go up. And I think you got to raise that now. I think you could raise that all the way to here if you really want to, but I'm going to still leave it down there. I'll put it right on that Friday. I think it could be quick. That's what I have. Now you have the availability to extend all the way to like 62.50. But I don't want to cheat too much, so I'm gonna leave what we had drawn. Just see if we're right. It's fun. You can do it. You can make analyzing fun, by the way. Like you can work a regular job and practice analyzing until you feel comfortable trading. It's not a bad thing to try to have some fun with it and try to guess what's going to happen. It's kind of the fun of it, in my opinion. But it's just you're not betting money based on guesses, right? You need those reasons. So SPY is very likely to do what? 30-minute could continue this move too. We have extended it to where the 30-minute could do this. Then we could do this. Then we could do this. And we could go all the way up into the Friday after July 9th if we really wanted to. Just because of this right now. What do you think about Jolts? Moment of weakness. Moment of risk, right? What do stocks look like right before Jolts? What does volatility look like before Jolts? What does volatility look like now? So whoever asked about the SPY, pay attention to volatility. You're confirming divergence and about to go positive. Pay attention to your 2-hour. You've gotten a good confirmation here in about 8 minutes that we're going to see a 2-hour pullback at the least. That could be consolidative. But as you're at that top, remember when you get to the potential for topping, you want to start to see bam, bam, bam. You want to start to see bam, bam. You want to start to see things like this. And look, right? Get that volatility to pick up. Yeah. Just if you genuinely just look at the market, you go, I'm looking for daily consolidation or a daily pullback. Keep it as simple as possible. Simple, simple, simple. As simple as we can, right? Can't get right. And then know that the market does crazy stuff. Just happens. Happens all the time. Oh, also, if you are trying to get me to, I'm getting a ton of these emails. I don't know if people are real people or not. And I don't mean to offend anyone if you are one of these people. I keep getting email after email after email every day about me trying to maximize profits on YouTube, like people trying to offer me services to get more money out of you guys. That's not ever the goal. So please do not email me with those things. The whole point of this is not to make $1 million here. It's to show how to potentially build up to $1 million over time by trading. It's not like if you're trying to say you're going to 3x my revenue by creating these things for my community that they're going to pay for. It's just that's not what I'm here for at all. I think those are robots, but just in case you're here live with us, like I'm just not interested. Okay. I've gotten an email. I've gotten like 3 emails today, 2 yesterday, 2 the day before that. I'm just like kind of tired of it. I'm literally just like tired of it. Unless you have something that's extremely, extremely helpful to trading, I'm not doing it. I think they're bots, Swiftsir, but just in case. Like, I think some people, potentially are looking for like, hey, I'll make thumbnails for you and things like that. I like to stay in control. That's why we talk a lot about control. You can kind of, how I like to trade and things like that, you can kind of assume that's kind of how I am in real life. It's just, ugh. If you have something helpful, you're always welcome to email me if you have a thesis, right? If you have a theory, hey, if you have a theory and you've really got it, and you're like Robert last week, who really was like, hey, I have a theory about AMC and GME popping off in July. That's perfectly fine. Like, I love chatting about this stuff. So you're more than welcome to send me an email. I think me and him, we even jumped into a Discord for a second and hung out. It was fun. I was drinking my protein and had to go to the gym, but we still had a good time. I'm kind of hoping. I guess you could consider. I don't think I would say I'm all 3. As far as investing goes, long term, my only investment right now is Target, to be 100% with you. I took all of my risk off in 2024. And yeah, my investments have suffered because of that, but I think I'll look back at this in like 10 years and be like, that was the right decision. But I did decide to jump back into an investment with Target. Very, very nice. I like Target. But as far as it goes with like trading, I just stick to options 2 to 8 weeks out. That is most of the time what I'm doing. And they most of the time are always like long options. So long put, long call. Target long term, I really don't care about a price target. If I was talking about Target long term here, all I would really want for Target is to be able to remain above these areas for like a couple of years, for a few years until I see things as risky. So what would I like for Target to get to if we're going to see some kind of like weekly up into weekly down? I would like to see us get to here, 135. Yeah, I'll even draw it for you, just so you have it as well in case you are looking at this. So anywhere in this zone, if I see a weekly reversal signal, like say we get daily divergence right here, I'm not going to be happy with that. If we go like this and we get daily divergence here, I'm going to say pull back. Here it's risky. Here it's more likely to be a pullback, right? Here it's raising the floor to potentially go higher. And it doesn't have to do those things. It's my job to see what is happening in these key areas, right? That's my job. But overall, would I take it off? Maybe. Depends on what I see here. Depends on what I see here. Depends on what I see here. If I see any kind of move up to here, I can hold on to it and not be fearful at all. I really won't until I see things starting to like break down again. Then I might say, okay, I'm out for a bit. I can take my little 20%, I can take my dividend money, and I can run for a little bit if I would like to. But for me, that I talk about it because we're a trading channel, right? We're talking about trading. Target is something that I could just hold on to and not look at for 5 years and be comfortable with. I genuinely believe that. It would have to do crazy things to make me very uncomfortable. But you see how the weekly... So this is the only scary thing, I guess, if you will. If the weekly goes like this and then just rejects anywhere down in here, it just goes, what? Oh, that's not necessarily a good thing. We can make weekly divergence. But it's still not losing my overall accumulation zone. That's what I would call this at this point. So even if it did this and this, I could potentially still be like, all right. If I wanted to micro it, I could get out, start to scale back in. But I just think that this is one that I really wanted to hold for like, I think I really want to hold this for at least like a year, see what it looks like, and then I'm willing to hold for 2, see what it looks like, and then I'm willing to hold for 5. And then we go from there, right? It's always a go from there. And here's the thing, you could talk to me in 2 weeks and I could totally change that standpoint because it's my money. I decide what I do with it. And if I change, then it's going to change. But for right now, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, looks good. Do I trade on margin? No, I do not. No, I never got into margin, prop firm, anything like that. I was going to at one point because a prop firm was talking to me and talking to the community here. Like people were talking to me. So I thought about it, but I was like, I don't have a history with prop firms. Um, Truth is, I just took $20,000 and started, and that was after being a fundamental investor for like 5-10 years, or for like 5 years, and the fundamental side went bad. I had a very, very good stock that seemed too good to be true, and it was. They committed fraud, and I lost all my money when I think I was like 20, 21. Wasn't a lot of money back then, but then I just, came back into it shortly after that, probably few years later. Started swing trading, started do options swing trading, and then started do options with weekly moves, divergences, advance my learning so that I could have multiple strategies. Yeah, it's good to have multiple strategies. It's kind of good to be like, okay, positive gamma, swing trade, negative gamma, day trade, or 30-minute divergence, like, little week, 2 week plays. But yeah, SPY here, if you just paid attention to the higher low from the 2 hour right here, you're like, oh, okay, we go to here. All right, we get there, you pull back, and then you go like this, and you go, it's still not bearish. And then this is one that was risky, but it still worked out very, very well. We paid attention correctly. And then from here, the profits have been a little bit, in the SPY, have been a little bit, you'd more want to be looking at those individual stocks. In hindsight, you would definitely say that. Because it was very likely for the SPY to get to monthly move. It's just how we did it was super, like Apple never fully participated, remember? So it's just like how we did it or how we're doing it is very not in the norm, I would say. I went all in on Palantir. Calls? Calls, right? The thing is, this is where you can hold up. So I'll build this for you. Technically, you want to wipe this out. This would be in red. You don't want to lose it. Look where you're going to. You're literally on the edge. You might break it, and you don't want to put too much emphasis on it. It's what happens next that matters. But now you have 5-minute divergence. You see that? I don't even have to look at a 5-minute. I can see it on the 30. That's what time and market does for you. So what's very likely to happen here for Palantir? Now Palantir is going to try to get up to here. It's going to try to do this. And then you see if that reverses again. Yeah, that looks very, very likely. So what makes it a little bit better? If you never create any kind of divergence, if you never create any kind of lower high, instead you go bam, 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 right? You never lose that low. That's how you come back. Based on a 5-minute. 5 minutes can be crazy though, so don't expect like it to be exact. But what you know right now is we're very likely to go retest up to here. Like 142 is what I would say. That could just be a quick little and then it's down. I don't know if you'll make it to the weekly. You already saw the selling, so I don't know if you'll make it to a weekly expected move next week. Maybe an upside move. Say the amount is 50% of my portfolio, 140 call with 1 month time frame. Oh, okay. Yeah, you got plenty of time then. I think you could go test 142, so I don't think you have confirmation. You do not have confirmations for it, even on a 5-minute yet. Price action would say we want to go retest there towards 142. And you saw a big move, so some kind of dead cat bounce makes sense. It's at the bottom of the zone. It technically could just curl back up. Fake out with Apple. Apple rejecting again from that center point. That's why we're paying attention. Now Apple has given you what? A lower high. What do you think is now most probable? Do you see why we weren't really talking too much about today in last night's video? We were talking about next week, 2-hour pullback. And now you're seeing today all of the things that will cause potential 2-hour pullback, at least in some areas. The SPY, not so much, but Apple, definitely so. Now, Apple, you'll pay attention if this rolls, then 30-minute divergence. Watch for that. But if this rolls, then the 2-hour is going to say, hey, I might want to give this up and go test those buyers down to 196.56. That would be a big drop, but still, you're initially just watching, hey, do I get a 30-minute reaction? Does this even confirm back down? Apple needs to do something innovative for once. That's what I think. I switched off of my Apple phone. Actually, we were doing this channel when I switched off of it, and I was like super like, I don't know. My wife was like, dude, you gotta try it. It was awesome. I was like, wow, a phone can do more than just make calls, text, and look at social media. Like that's all an iPhone really does, in my opinion. If you're a creator, things can be good, right? I'm a creator. I understand a lot of phones. I research phones for cameras and things like that. Yeah, VWAP. I am someone who will say, like, day trading wise, I do like VWAP, but I'm not a day trader. I like this. I actually like this statement. And I'm sorry if I get your name wrong, but it is Billy, I think, or Bill. Um, Stating VWAP trend lines, break and retest resistances and things like that, or break and retest fair value gaps would be what I would say for day trading. Break and retest fair value on like 1 minute, 5 minute chart. Those are the things that I would point to. I just can be honest with myself and say it's probably just a matter of me. You've seen me kind of do it in real time, and I'm not good at executing the trades. It's perfectly fine for me to say that. But if you're coming in here and saying those things, that's perfectly fine. I do not disagree with you whatsoever. Trend lines, literally trend lines, retest. I think those are perfectly fine. VWAP is great for direction to see what the trend is. Like, that's not bad. Like, that's not bad at all. You would probably really like the guy that I really respect, Figuring Out Money. Now, I don't look at his I don't look at his like live show because it's not going to help me trade, but I really like his perspective. And if you're trying to day trade, he's more on that side. And he directly uses weekly expected moves, daily expected moves, and VWAP. So he could probably really help you. Yeah, even if it says like even if it causes you guys to go somewhere, like I want you to find what's best for you. And I want to make sure you're getting that from this channel. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Um, I think with me and him, I think the biggest correlation between me and him, why we think about markets similarly, is the calmness. I genuinely believe that. Like whenever I see like maybe once a month I'll watch one of his just to see if our takes are like his take I respect, right? If I ever see him say something, I'll listen. And I think that's just because of his calm tone. And so that's something that me and him have very much so in common. You're not going to hear me freaking out about a move ever, um, because I understand the management of risk. And I think he's someone who I like to shout out because I think he could genuinely help like some day traders out there because he thinks so similar to me, but he's better at potentially executing those smaller time frame trades. And I'm perfectly fine with shouting him out to you guys because I respect the dude. I really do. And I respect that he's calm a lot of the time. I would say 99% of the time. I don't think I've ever seen him like freaking out over something. Um, Now, I haven't watched him lately. I don't know lately. You guys got to tell me how he's been lately if you guys are popping in to say hi to him. But what's Bernie doing? I have my ass handed to me this week, but I learned stuff. Now's a good time to enjoy an adult beverage and go to the pool. Everyone have a great week. And I'm sorry to hear that, Bernie. Tell me more about it, man. If you can, maybe we do a private stream. You can tell me a little bit about it. Maybe we can do a private stream on Sunday, like Sunday night, while futures is open. Some pullback would be nice. No, it's OpEx, bro. It's OpEx. We want to sit high, see a little shakeout low, then sit high again. By little shakeout, I mean we could just sit here while everyone tries to take a short and it just doesn't move. We could just sit here while everyone tries to go long and it just doesn't move. And then at the very, very last seconds of the day, you could see like, oh yeah, it's going up. And then we just go down on Monday. Or, uh, oh yeah, it's going down. Then we just go up on Monday. Volatility is suggesting we're going to get a 2-hour pullback though. I'm going to keep shouting this out. By the way, this is a trade setup. It already confirmed. But it most likely is just like, right, so I'm being patient for what setup? Because I was about to go look, and then I read my note. I'm being patient for this or this. But I am thinking about taking volatility. I think people are going to overreact here. And I think they could overreact all the way up to potentially this gap. Like it's somewhere in here, 37. I think we could see a bad reaction, but I don't think the market will give up as much as you think. I think people will overdo it. But the 30-minute is suggesting that 2-hour move could come now. So if I was being my aggressive self, if volatility was a little bit higher up, like towards 20, and I saw this on the 30-minute, I would take this play every time. But it's not. I'm long UVIX. Yeah, so see, like I would think about it because we're elevated. We're not at 20. We're not at 18. So this is why it's like I just read my notes. Be patient. I can take the volatility play on the topping with a 2-hour divergence if it shows its face, which means nice things, right? We can go start to go. Still want to see July 9th, like way over here. That's why I'd kind of like that slow grind pullback. I think that'd be cool. But volatility increasing while the market stays level. That is overall just hedging at this point. I was like, I don't have a strike. Columbus, he's asking for your strike. I wish Martial Law was still here, man. Martial Law was our volatility guy. Not an option trade? Probably a good idea. Remember what we say about UVXY and things like that? I like UVXY. My singular VIX call might go green. It might on Monday. As a volatility is suggesting it will. You have one problem, and maybe we need to look at futures to see the market, but you have one problem. What do we pay attention to on this channel from volatility? So volatility, SPY. So if volatility looks like this, we want the SPY to look like this. And we want to see that divergence. We want to see those divergences. We see it over here. This one. Yes. Gold star. Got it. This one. Ooh, wait a second here. We have one. Kind of leans towards just a pullback. We have two. Oh, you don't have two. So you have it all on volatility, but you don't have it on the SPY. So this means like a little bit, it's still there. A little bit more probable just to be some like pullback. It's either pullback or volatility gets it wrong. We just keep squeezing. That's literally how it works. What is UVIX at? Where's that gap for UVIX? Where's the, actually, no, just where's the 5? No, 5's too close. 5's too close. I don't think you'll see, I would be very surprised if you get that. I'd be very surprised if you get that. I think you're more likely to get like 26. Yeah, 26, 26, 26. And then that could be an area where you rotate down. What did you say? What levels were you? Hoping we get back to 25 to 27. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think this is where you kind of look at the gap. Yeah, like right on, like 25.97 looks spot on. The other thing is you have to take all of this back to be back, right? So, but look how deep the 2-hour is. Wouldn't this be nice? Bam, bam, bam. Nice and quick. Maybe a little, maybe more of like a squeeze look, right? Kind of like bam, volatility, squeeze, 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 up. That'd be squeeze for SPY, by the way. Obviously going down, you're not. Yeah. We'll see. I'm not playing, like, you can take it into consideration too. Like, hey, Lucas, the guy telling you these things is not shorting the SPY, is not taking calls on volatility right now. You want to pay attention to what I'm doing. I'm still following my plan. My plan is to be patient. Just tickles Tesla for a couple hours and it shoots back up. Tesla's just hitting critical areas. Tesla's pretty interesting. It's ping-ponging. We suggested back here, right? Hey, if you remember this day right here. Hey, if we actually lose that low, roll again, okay, then we're going to end up down here and you're going to start to ping pong. Now you're ping ponging. And all it has to do to stop ping-ponging is do this. Bam, bam, bam. All it has to do to stop ping-ponging is do this. Bam, bam, bam. It's nice when you say something a few weeks ago and then you look back and it's behaving how behaving how you assumed it would. You kind of use that as like a little bit of proof and give you confidence, right, Jonna? We can now look at Tesla and say, we said it was going to ping pong. It looks very likely to ping pong. And now it's seeing ping ponging. So we can have some confidence in ourselves. It does not recognize potholes. I've never been in a Tesla, ever. I've never been in an electric car. I've been in like a hybrid once. My wife's old car was a hybrid. Tesla is very volatile. It's a very difficult one, I would say, especially for like new people. I think that Tesla is literally built to manipulate new people. So what I like for Tesla is just to see a major signal, right? Remember we were talking about Tesla and everyone on Twitter was saying crash, crash, crash. And I go, you just tested this low 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and you think we're going to crash? If this just curls up, we're going to go to what? 300. Then we went to 300. Then we curled up and went further. And then we talked about 325. And then we got to 325. We came down to here. We saw the reversal. And we said, hey, look, 325. Now you're going to ping pong. Now we're ping ponging. It's just with the implied volatility, I think it's a profit taking problem for me with Tesla. Like I see a move and I think it's going to keep going to like a weekly and then it pulls back aggressively. It's very aggressive, rips up, rips down. As far as Tesla goes, just you're playing high implied volatility. The options are always expensive as well. The jumping car. See the new car from China? I think it's maybe Japan that jumps over potholes. I'm sorry, it jumps. It goes hop hop. It goes hop hop. So my daughter would say. She'd be like hop hop. You can see where my mind's at right now. My mind's with family right now to be 100%. Because I'm being patient, right? Today is like I would not even probably be here this morning. It wasn't for you guys, but I respect you guys. I appreciate that you guys are trying to get better, so I'm here. And I have she happened to be going over to Abuela's this morning, so you guys are lucky. But we're trying to decide what we should do. Who's got some good things for us to do? We went to the zoo yesterday, 2 days ago, yesterday. I don't know. My days are mixing together. God, she loves that place. These guys still struggling. SoFi still good. So remember that 30 minutes shouldn't really roll if you're going to see like mega squeeze. They can on the Friday, but I like this, the wick above. Ooh. If you want this to keep going, the best chance you have for that is not curling over to the 30-minute today. Once you curl that down, momentum says pullback. And then a lot of the time, short sellers will use that momentum to just like tank it. You saw that with AMC and GME, right? We were like, hey, if the 30-minute rolls, you're at that move, right? So, hey, most of the time you'll break down from here. Watch for the 30-minute. Oh, 30 minutes just rolls. They stack on the momentum. They just, every reversal signal you get just fails. Oh, AMC, you poor, poor guy. He's like, I just want to share with some movies with you guys and sell you a big ass pretzel with cheese. God, I want that pretzel with cheese right now. That sounds so good. A little jalapeno. Woo. That sounds good. I'd eat the crap out of that. Anyway, we'll see if we just sit higher here. I know I'm going to have to hop off for today. I really appreciate you guys being here today, though. I think we had some fun. I think we talked about a lot of things. I think it's awesome. I hope that you guys have all the luck in the world with your trades, but I hope that most of your trade is not based on luck and you have done your research. You have your 5 reasons to take the play so that you are willing to risk money. At this point, just so we are very, very, very clear, I am looking for the market to top out still by July 9th, but I understand how it could remain irrational. I am not betting on some kind of top right now. I am not risking any money in this market. I am deciding to be patient and enjoy my weekend with my girls before some craziness could happen towards July 9th. So I will have a good old time going into the 4th of July, set off some fireworks, and then maybe the market will do the same, and I'll be ready for that moment. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you guys for liking, subscribing, some little donations to the chat. Love that. Thank you guys so much for giving back to the community. That's fantastic. Thank you guys for being here all week. You guys have really been awesome this week, and I think we've paid attention to things as correctly as possible during this overall squeezing period, and we're seeing further upside outside of the weekly expected move. So we're very likely to close within it. Taking some kind of massive bet for this right now, it's still, you don't have a lot of time to get back into that move at this point for the day. And we will get updated weekly expected moves on Sunday. If you would like to join Patreon, the weekly expected moves that we do utilize are all going to be posted there on Sunday. They will update. So make sure you join Patreon if you are looking to get some information, or sometimes you'll even get a nice trade setup like Palantir, nice trade setup. We now see Palantir being able to go up to something like 140 to 143 and then rejecting from that overall area. So just be aware of that. This is a trade that so far is playing out. And now you have to see if everything remains good if you are holding for bigger moves to the downside. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I wish you nothing but luck, and let's stop wishing luck here. I don't like the luck word right now. I wish you guys patience. I wish you guys the assumption of risk. I wish you guys can really pay attention and trade like water. I think that's the best way to put it at this standpoint, as we have shown that we can continue the move higher. Thank you guys. Have a great, great day. All right. Check donations. We gotta say thank you if you gave one. Oh, where is it? There we go. Anthony, thank you so much for the 2. J Lol Bear. I know that's not your name, and I recognize your kid's picture. I do. I genuinely do. But thank you guys so much. Have a good one. All right. I gotta get out of here. We gotta go do some lunchtime. To be honest, I gotta spend time with wifey while baby girl naps. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys, have a good one. I'll see you guys this weekend, just so you're aware. Tomorrow we will have a macro video, and on Sunday in the morning we will have the updated weekly expected moves for you, daily expected moves for Monday. And then Sunday night, I'm thinking about doing a private stream if anyone is interested. Real quick, before I take off, would you guys be interested? Yeah, I know, Richard. If you are you guys interested in doing a private stream, Patreon members, anyone in Patreon, could you show up Sunday night? Just want to see if at least a few people can set aside some time, maybe like late Sunday. I at least want to see if Jonna and Bernie could show up. Jonna, I wonder if you could come. I'm thinking like 8 p.m. Central, maybe 9 if I want to push it. Because I'm a night owl. I usually stay up late anyway. I stay up and then I sleep terribly. That's just how I do things. I was just seeing if Jonna might have took off already, so we'll make a post about it in Patreon, all right? Anyway, the most awkward goodbye I've ever given. Goodbye, guys. Hope you have a good one. Peace out. Spy still going. 618. Oh my goodness. Can I get invited to the secret live stream? Yeah, the Patreon is down in the description. If you just join there. Anyone who's a part of Patreon gets the private stream. It's just a little bit more focused. We actually put the weekly and monthly moves and things like that, and we really read into things a little bit deeper. Hell yeah, you the most accurate. Hey, thank you for saying that. Bounce back. Appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, join the Patreon, guys. It'll be a good time, and you can at least see if the information's helpful and it's super. Like it's like $7 for a couple of months is like $14. See if it helps you out for 2 months, and then be like, hey, maybe you fall in love with it. That happens a lot. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Peace out. You'll have to see, Matthew. I don't necessarily know. I actually don't know. I've never checked that. I'm pretty sure you can use PayPal as payment, but I'm not 100%. All right, I'm really leaving. I got to shut it down now. I spent too much time in here. Now you guys can't hang out in here. I got to shut it down. Matthew, ask again next week during a live show, okay? If you're still not able to join, let me know. All right, peace out, guys. Ending it.